So most of these quote unquote video essays boil down to just pointing out that, you know, Pokemon is the highest grossing media franchise in the world, which is true, and I'm not saying it's not, because it definitely is. That's a lot of money. But they show that while the games, obviously they make a sizable chunk of change, merchandise is like way more than that, which again is true, and I'm not saying it's not. But then they just kind of take that and interpret it that well, while the games only make us 16 billion or whatever, and merch makes 800 gajillion more $1 billion, it's clearly just greedy Game Freak doesn't want to make a good game at all and just wants to pump out whatever slop on the newest Nintendo console. And all the kids and the Poke drones and the Poke Sheep, the Wooloos will buy whatever Game Freak points out. Which if you look at some of the sales numbers for games you don't like Sword and Shield, it certainly feels that way sometimes. But that's not the case. That's not true because this is a very complex and multifaceted issue that isn't just you know oh, Game Freak lazy. That's not it. And if you genuinely think that, and that helps you sleep better at night, thinking that it's just Game Freak is evil and all these armies of fans want to save Pokemon, but they can't, then I think you're pretty misguided. But anyways, that brings us to our next point with a lot of these people, in that most of these are just vague criticisms that don't actually add anything. Like, let's see this one right here. For every small portion of the community that criticizes the games, there is always a crowd double which will defend them to the death. They need to understand that it's not shameful to acknowledge that you spend money on a bad product. If you like it, that's fine. More power to you. But you can't defend what's objectively bad. The downgrade in quality is absolutely noticeable, and you shouldn't defend that. It will just make Game Freak even more comfortable with how they are handling the games, as they'll see people supporting their trash. Okay, so first of all, when it comes to games, there's nothing objective about them at all. Like, I know, shocker, but everything is subjective. Literally everything. I would say probably the closest thing that comes close to quote unquote objective would be performance, which if you want to call Scarlet and Violet out for that, go ahead, because yes, I do think it it looks and runs like shit. Like, it's not a particularly good looking game in my opinion, and certainly doesn't run very well. But I just don't like statements like these. Like, well, if you like it, that's good, but it's objectively bad, and you're an idiot for liking it when there's a lot of good things in a lot of these games, even games I don't like Sword and Shield, which I just didn't care for at all because it felt very linear, and I don't know, there wasn't a lot going on. I don't think it had a story at all. Like, I genuinely don't remember it at all. Which is, I think it's something with the power plant. I don't know, but like, it was. I really didn't like it, but like, I kind of became one of these like pokey haters, in the YouTube comments for a couple years after that. And so I played Scarlet and Violet just because of how badly I didn't like it. But even that, I can still like say there's some stuff I liked about it. Like, I think the gyms were really cool and atmospheric. Like, it really felt like battling was like a spectator sport, which is, that was pretty cool. And like Scarlet and Violet, like, even though they don't look good at all and certainly don't run good, in my opinion, I think there's a lot of positive elements to it, like the story. I think exploration is really well. And I had a lot of fun with it. Like, I pretty much enjoyed the whole thing all around. And there's things I don't like about it, like obviously the low hanging fruit of performance. But there's also things like I feel like the towns are pretty much just like cardboard cutouts because like you can't really go inside anything that's not just like, and pretty much anywhere you can go inside is just like a visual novel or just pops up a window. But a lot of these people, I don't really give reasons for why they like or don't like something. Well, mostly don't like. Usually, I think the one that I'm talking about, and I just watched earlier, they at least said why they like things, which is nice. But like, I feel like in a lot of these call out videos, especially in the comments, these people will just say, "This sucks," or "This isn't good at all," or it's a disgrace to the gaming industry, but they barely give their actual reasons for it, which is interesting because and I'm not saying these people don't have it. I'm sure if I'm not calling them idiots, like I'm sure if you ask them for why they just didn't like something, they could probably tell you, but um I don't a lot of the time, and especially I can forgive people when it's a YouTube comment, like it's not that serious, but for the people uploading like 10-minute videos and not like giving their position to why they like or dislike something, that just feels pointless. Like, why am I watching a 10-minute nothing burger about Scarlet and Violet buggy, Game Freak lazy, move on. I don't even know what else to say, but that's pretty much what all they boil down to. But okay, so let's look at this one. Yes and no. It's not just marketing. It's a loss of passion. People forget that everyone criticized Black and White after release, which is true. I still remember the iFunny post of that one girl in 2012 saying how the starters were the worst thing ever, and how what happened to a Charizard, bro? These starters were the worst, and these box legendaries. Yes, I still remember that, and praised X and Y. I don't know about that though. Black and White were supposed to be the epitome of the franchise. It has been stated as being the most effort that Game Freak ever put into a single title. Probably true. I don't know where they got that, but probably true. But Game Freak heard the fans loud and clear. Black and White is a 6 out of 10, and X and Y is a 9. Why try hard when your fans will eat up the slop you make? This doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know where they got these review scores from. I'm sure they just picked 2 from random reviewers just because more people bought the 3DS ones. I mean, there's a I don't know the sales numbers for Black and White and X and Y, but there's a lot of reasons. If X and Y sold more than Black and White, let's believe that it might have been more because, well, Black and White was at the end of the DS's life. There was already Gen 4 was on the DS already, so X and Y, new generation, there's a lot of reasons why it might have outsold it, and outselling it doesn't mean quality, and I'm pretty sure Game Freak knows that too. I mean, maybe they don't. Maybe it's just a bigger number. I'm not going to pay attention to anything else, but that's not how reasonable people make decisions. So, okay, Pika Power 13, 13, 13. Why even try? Bigger number, better. Yeah, that's actually just that simple, by the way. And that brings us to right here. Let's see. This guy says, I would like to say that Pokemon games are lacking everything from the OG gens. I have played all the games in order, and it really shows. Because I love this one because this one says nothing at all. Like, what do you mean? Like, they are lacking everything from the OG gens. It really shows. Okay, does it? Literally says nothing he actually finds wrong with the games. Like, nothing concrete, just it's lacking everything. Doesn't even say what the OG gens are. Like, do you mean Gen 1, Gen 2? Do you mean 1 through 5? He played all the games in order, but this is what I mean by vague criticisms, because this is just a nothing burger. There is absolutely nothing going on here. There doesn't say the problem, doesn't say a potential solution. This doesn't say anything. This doesn't help at all. Like, this would not help at all. Like, imagine you're just going up to a Game Freak employee and be like, "But They lack everything from the OG gens. What are they going to do with that? Nothing, because it doesn't say anything. So, and yeah, apparently 212 people think this is profound and prophetic, and bro, lazy Game Freak, um, just doesn't want to put in the effort and put everything from the OG gens. Like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And of course, we got the fan games, which are, very mature and dark and gritty and made for adults, unlike the slop that Game Freak puts out. The real mature and dark and atmospheric and way better than Game Freak could ever do. Shout out to all the great Pokemon fans games out there: Rejuvenation, Reborn, Insurgents, which I'm pretty sure is spelled wrong, and all the other adult themed Pokemon games with revamped difficulty curve. We've reached a point where fan games legitimately outclass mainstream titles. This is insanity to me, because I'm not trying to shit all over Pokemon fan games, because my main point from this is that game development is fucking hard, and obviously these people put in a lot of hard work to make these games, and I'm sure even in the ones I dislike the most, there's things I can find out about the game. But let's literally look at the first game they mentioned on the list: Rejuvenation. Okay, let's go check this game out. Oh, there's a literal human sacrifice 5 minutes into the game. Yeah, and that's very dark and mature and adult themed, and it's totally not a non-stop edge fest with character deaths for no fucking reason. And Game Freak has never done a story that is adult themed at all. No, Scarlet and Violet, certainly not. Nope. Coliseum, no, that doesn't count either. Black and White, no, that doesn't count. I get that, like I said before, things are subjective. So you know what? If you like nonstop, swearing and character deaths and complete tasteless, edgy, not even humor, just like random deaths and like super tragic events for no reason, and you're weird into that stuff, then sure, you know what? I'm sure fan games are great for you, because there's tons and tons and tons of that, and it's amazing if you're into that, and have interesting writing standards. But in the end, like, none of this actually matters, because, well, there's a lot of well thought out and actually rationalized valid criticisms of the game, like this one, like what you're saying, maybe they should take more development time and not try to pump out a new generation every 3 years. I can get behind that. I think that's actually concrete they can do. But you should criticize, you should criticize things you like. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say, oh, Game Freak is perfect, they can do no wrong, because Pokemon is amazing and perfect, and if you don't like it, you're just a hater, and you should just like it, because you should be grateful that you're even getting a game in the first place. No, that's not what I'm saying. If you actually think that that's what I'm saying, then go and watch this video again, because that is not at all what I'm saying. You're allowed to have criticisms of the game. In fact, you probably should. Just try and actually, flesh them out, will you? Because, like, there's no point in just saying something is bad without saying why. Like, it doesn't solve anything. But the other point in all of this is that none of this actually matters in the first place, because Pokemon is such a broad fan base at this point, and no two people will actually agree in what they want from the franchise, especially a mainline game at this point. Because let's say you have two people. One says that, I don't like that Pokemon's becoming an open world game. I liked it better when there was a more linear path to explore, which, is fine. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think anyone would be like, no, you're an idiot for thinking that. I mean, maybe if you're on the opposite side, sure, whatever. But someone else is like, you know what, I really like the open world. I think it's just really fun, and encourages exploration and does a lot, which is also valid. So you as a developer, what do you pick in that situation? It's a hard issue to solve. Like, it's there's no one size fits all easy solution. I think this video right here does a great job of explaining why it's a complete nightmare to, balance this franchise. Anyways, go watch that and play Pulse Man or something.